So I'm going to actually give you an example for how you might organize your thoughts and ideas with the major concepts for Unit 2. You do not have to set anything up like this, but this is just an example of kind of what I'm expecting you to do to kind of help you prepare for this. So for Unit 2, if you look at the learning map, it says that there were two major concepts, exploring distributions and measuring variability. And when you kind of look into that, you can actually see that you've got interpreting plots of data, understanding the shape and the distribution, center and spread, and then we have outliers. So this mostly has to do with histograms. And then obviously we're also going to have, box plots. Oops, you can't see that. So I'm going to kind of separate it into histograms, box plots, and then just other information. So if I have my Unit 2, I'm going to put histograms over here. And I've got box plots. So information on how to make a histogram, for example. So we know that ranges must be on the bottom. And we know that the y-axis always has to say frequency, which means how many. And this is your y-axis. So let's make a little example here. So maybe for our bottom, for our ranges, we've got ages, and maybe we have 10 to 20, 30, 40, 50. So we might say here that this is 10 to 19, because remember, 20 would go with the bar to the right. So this would be 20 to 29, and so on. And then this would say frequency, which obviously we talked about means how many, and then that would tell you how high the bar would go. So that means, for example, if there's, if this is a 10, then there's 10 people ages 20 to 29. So that would be important information for a histogram. For box plots, we have our 5-number summary, which includes our minimum, our Q1, which is your 25th percentile. We have our Q2, which is our median. We have our Q3, which is our 75th percentile. And then we have our maximum. So that's your 5-number summary. So let's just draw a little example here, and then maybe we would label it. This is our min, this is our Q1, Q2, Q3, and our max. So let's kind of like blend the two of these things together. We used a couple different things to measure the distributions or explain the distributions or summarize the information. And what we actually used was SOCS. Remember, we have shapes. So we have, for shape, we have skewed to the left, and I'm just going to abbreviate skewed to the left, would obviously be skinny on the left, which means the majority of your data is actually on the right, and then that would be skewed to the left, and then we have skewed to the right, which would actually be the opposite of that, which means most of your data is here, but you have a high outlier. And then we have approximately normal. We'll just stick this in here, which means your data is kind of evenly spread. We obviously had some other ones, but these were the major ones. All right, now when you look at outliers, so let's write that in. We know that we can actually use a formula for outliers, and that would be in your SOCS foldable, but it was the IQR, oh, I should add IQR over here as important information. Remember, IQR is Q3 minus Q1, and it's your middle 50% of the data. And it's a way to measure variability or the spread of the data, and we'll bring that in here too. Okay, so outliers, IQR times 1.5, which gives you your golden number, and then you actually take that golden number and you do Q3 plus the golden number to see if anything's beyond there, and then we also do Q1 minus the golden number and see if anything's to the left of that. So that's outliers. Centers, we know we have right centers. We know we have mean, which was x bar, which is your average, and that would be the sum divided by the number of values. I don't know if you remember that. Then we also have the median, which you can actually find by doing n plus 1 divided by 2 and then counting out. And then we have the mode, which we didn't really use that much, but that's okay. Okay, and then the last one we have is spread. And spread was either the range, which is your max minus your min, or your IQR in our quartile range, which, like we said, is Q3 minus Q1. And that's your middle 50%. Okay, so we actually accomplished most of our information here as far as getting our big ideas down. So now we just need to kind of put in some example problems. So I would add maybe an example set of data here and actually graph it. Maybe write a little SOC summary for that same set of data and then make a box plot for that same set of data. And you could actually even reference your Unit 2 test or review, which is online, and that actually also has the answers, so that could be really helpful. And then I would say that this is good to go for your Unit 2 summary.